Hola, bienvenidos a la mesa número 22 de este primer Congreso de Investigadores en Plataformas. Para los que vienen siguiendo eh, los sucesos de este Congreso, nos caracterizamos por construir un espacio en el que poder interactuar y escucharnos con colegas. La idea acá es que no estamos siendo doctores, licenciados, magísteres compartiendo saberes, sino desde un profundo rigor académico. Somos colegas hablando de nuestros objetos. Esta mesa va a ser particular, el Congreso en general es en inglés y en español, en portugués y en español. Hoy vamos a tener una colega que desde Polonia nos va a hablar en inglés. Thank you, Carolina, for stay with us. I just say that the spirit of this Congress is we are not doctors, masters, bachelors talking about theories. Here we are colleagues. We are Carolina and Santiago talking about their objects. So we wanna love to hear what are you working now. Welcome.
Okay. Hola, from the Polonia, and it is probably the only word that I can use to say hi today.
That was perfect.
Yeah, the only two lessons of Spanish years ago. And only a stupid thing in my head that I remember for that. Good morning for everyone, because in Poland we are now just ending our working day, something between 2 p.m. and our classes are ended. I just finished my one. And today I would like to share with you one of my researches that I made a year ago. And I hope that my English won't be the barrier, because I'm not using it very often in that mode. I prefer to write, not to speak, but hopefully you can understand me. If not, please feel free absolutely to ask me and stop me if something will be.
No, your English is beautiful, way better than mine, so
No.
speak free.
I'm sure not. Okay. I can't. Maybe this full screen will be easier for other participants to see what I want to say. So I'm changing the mode, and probably you can see now full screen. Yeah, or not? Yeah, it's better. I would like to share you the research about the limits, barriers, some points that are getting the end of the news that are connected to political assassination and only the online news. So my whys for this study are simply because I was always intrigued as a former political study student. I was always wondering why political assassination is so wide definition. Why? It's connected to smaller and bigger, more representative or less representative people that are hated in some way, but or are a symbol of something. So it was strange for me why all these definitions are the same in some points, but not distinguish the specific of the attack. Second why is the mediatization concepts. Because when I read about assassination of the politics, I always found the connection with mediatization of death or public death. But not every assassination is ended so tragically, dramatically way. So why death? And of course, there are some limits. And third why is only connected to limitation of the papers. So there is not enough papers that are connected to expressing why and how media are making their contents connected to the political attacks in online websites mostly. And the other thing, and the last point, my last why, is the potential of the frame that is used in that type of news. So this perspective good us at others. It is obvious, and this is, I would say that it is initial bias in that type of information. But what will happen when we put this initial bias into so polarized societies like Poland and United States? If you don't know, Poland and the United States are more polarized societies in the world now. We are on the top rankings. So I would say that it is quite strange uh, why maybe maybe United States system is some explanation for that situation. But in Poland, we have typical academic European democracy, and we have many parties. And our society is, I would say, uh, honestly, in my opinion, less polarized than United States, but rankings will look the same. So, what I found in literature is that there is what I found in literature, some short information from my article, is that I'm not sure if you can see the uh, headlines of the presentation or only the text, because I see only headlines, not only the text. Okay, once again, I will change the mode. What about now? Better. Sorry for this technical issue. It's frustrating me really. It will be better. Gosh. Okay, maybe that. So, when we look on the literature devoted to political assassination, we can easily see that the political assassination is an act that can be effective or not. It's not important if it's in depth of a bigger important harm. But it is important that it is connected with personal beliefs and the attacker is manifesting something. Second important notification in the literature is connected to manifestation of political context. It is obvious, but when you see this second definition, it is for me most important is that uh, also attempts are classified as political assassination, and the deeply shocking event that is not ending, political event that is not ending as something tragic, is also political assassination type of the issue. And on the other side, when we look on the literature, comparing literature, and when we start to find some traits in it, we can easily say that there is not many studies that are comparing successful and unsuccessful assassinations, and there is really no literature about how media and how people also react on the incident of political assassinations that include extreme cases where the leaders are different, when the effect of the attack is different, when the localization of the attack is different. So it was my point to find out what is changing when we took on the table, scientific table, different types of the attacks. On the mediatization landscape, we can of course find different concepts, but in the context of assassination, not only political one, but the public one too, the main frame is to use main frame used by the researcher is mediatization of public death or death. Um, I will not going into details of that concepts, but I think that the name of it is very important. Death. As I said before, it's not every political assassination is ending by death. So, uh, in my opinion, is something wrong in taking this theory concept as the main vertical framework for the studies. So I tried to dig deeper in mediatization field, and I find not so I would say not I find topic that it is not using very often, but it is matching perfectly to my studies. So I found a concept of mediatization of violence. So um, it's saying that the mediatization media can broadcast the violence and can show the scale of it, then we can feel even that we are in that place. But this concept is only connected, and this theoretical concept is only connected with mass shootings, and honestly, only with mass shooting in USA. So it's not very often used in different contexts. But I will say that knowing that practitioners saying that there is no universal media logic, and every country, every media can translate assassination and violence in different way. I was curious how Polish and American media will translate different type of assassination in their local markets, media markets. And the third point of my literature review was media discourses on assassination. So I was trying to find what is known about assassination and its coverage in all types of media. And what I found is nothing surprising, I would say, because we can say that media confirm the authenticity of the event. Of course, they are saying that something was happened in that point of the time in that place. So they are saying, okay, it's not a fake, it's not a deep fake, it is true. Someone attacked our politician. Secondly, media report almost in real time about the event. So they are trying to give as many information as is needed. And of course, they are showing the consequences of the attack, as not only for the victim, but also to the society as a whole. And because of that, there is a third point. So the media sometimes acts as a mediators. There's something showing the way how we can deal with the problem of the political assassination, how we can live with it. And it is obvious that the more important, maybe not important, more dramatically it's an event, the more mediators we can find in media. So if the politician will be dead, the media will automatically start to coverage this issue in the eulogy effect and attempt to build public catharsis, some way of place, maybe not the way, place to feel to free let free our emotion, to get people deal with the problem that was unseen for many years, because the political assassination is not so often, as you know. What is typical for media is that attackers are typically portrayed as others, loners, sometimes mentally ill people, or people that need help. So they are not typical citizens of the cities, countries. On the other hand, victims are shown as defenseless. They are symbols of some values, probably in many. I think that in Europe and the United States, the most typical topic is that they are Democrats. They are people who like freedom, who are fighting for human rights and justice. Um, And obviously, because it is political context, always political division are media are exposing some political division in countries. So this was my starting point, this literature review, and after that, I try to find some objectives. So my objective, like I said before, is to capture and define some differences in immediate, so breaking news, media reactions to political assassinations, and I want to find what factors are most important to that type of information. So, from methodology, I would try to say so many things too quickly. My brain isn't working that well. So what I'm presenting here is also published in Roczniki Nauk Społecznych. It's a Polish journal, but my article is in English. So I think that it is, yeah. Never about 20 minutes. I was thinking about this 20 minutes to make it fast. Okay. Okay, so my publication in the Roczniki Nauk Społecznych is presenting all the material that I was able to compare. But today, I only want to present the general idea of my research, general findings. So my methodological concept was simply because when I see the content that is initially polarized, I always feel that critical discourse analysis is the best model to analyze. I'm not a person who is philological type. I am a journalist. I'm former journalism student, so the language is not my point. But when I think about analyzing some text, it is obvious that I like to see some quality, not frequency point of view type of analysis. And when I'm looking some theoretical frame to my analysis, I was looking for something that is trying to find the balance between bad and us, the good thing and the bad thing that are defining the attackers and victims in political assassination cases. So I found the conception of ideological square. As you know, this is not new concept, but typically it is theoretical one. But I think that uh, it's ideal for my case because it's express division of discourse and find a way when the power of the media is showing us or is showed us. So I was looking only topics that express good and bad traits of us. I was looking the victim and community presentation in the media and values that are connected with them. And on the other hand, I was also looking for others, so attackers, victim opponents, and other persons that are connected to political values. So only this part of the discourse was interesting for me. Secondly, I choose extreme cases. It was Donald Trump assassination attempt last year and Paweł Adamowicz assassination in Poland in 2019. Probably the Trump case is obvious for you, so I will only put some light on the Paweł Adamowicz case because Paweł Adamowicz was the president of the Gdynia, one of the biggest city in Poland, and he was killed. He was killed by the men, politically motivated men, during the most important charity event in Poland. So it was a very big, very dramatic, and real-time transmitted case of political assassination. It was similar to Donald Trump case media sense, because both these events was transmitted by big channels. Many people use their phone and show their point of view, I would say, and the political motivation of the attacker were present in both cases. I choose only 703 texts to analyze. I only choose this one texts that use the keywords connected to Adamovich or Trump. Are excluded all texts that are showing only political context, not the assassination one. And I searched this text from most read media outlets in United States and Poland. So the sample looks like you can see on this table. The bigger number of text was from the Donald Trump case, and Pavel Adamowicz was not so present in United States. So um, probably most of the information you will find in the next slides is connected only to Polish outlet in that case. So, like many studies, my study, of course, have some limitation. I only select small number of extreme cases, only two. Probably it would be better to choose 10 or even more cases to see how this model, this conception that I am trying to start by this study is running in different contexts. The second limitation is that I only use the news media outlets and only online types of outlets. And I absolutely devoted to democratic countries. Probably I think that in other countries with other systems, it could look different because the media system are different. And lastly, I would say that the textual layer, of course, it is important, but I think that visual is also important. When we look at on that type of events from the visual perspective, we can probably get different findings. So once again, because I just like to share with you some general finding from this study. First about Trump, and secondly about Adamovich, and then some conclusions and general findings. So when we look on the Trump case, I would say that it is important to find that Trump is presented mostly in good and bad way. So he is presented in that type of information, of course, as a victim, but victim who needs solidarity, but also victim to gain many electoral campaign that was running in the United States in the moment of the attack. It's also sometimes presented as people, human that is, I would say, not as sympathetic that he should be. The same difference in the values we can see with description of the society, because society is presented as a solidarity in the context of solidarity, mass reaction, condemnation of the violence, but in the same time, in the same media, also in the same news, is showing that the violence in the United States is growing and is high polarization of the US people. What is important is that type of information is that type of news for me is that there were no typical frame of presenting Donald Trump as a person who was lonely, who was left with this dramatic event by others. So he was presented as a strong leader, and all these things that happened after the accident, after attack, was shown in the context of his power and about in the context of presidential campaign. When we look statistically on the information about us and them, you will probably find that there is less information, a little less information about them, because media are mostly concentrating on the are concentrating the topics and news only on Trump, not them. But when they are saying about them, they are probably gaining attention of people who want to know who is the attacker. And it was quite surprising for me, because even when the information about the attacker was published, it was not the main topic, because the more important topic was that all blame from all sides was placed on Joe Biden and Democrats, the attacker who act alone, and the security service. I would say that security service was the most important part of the presentation of them, because some of the news are saying that security services respond quickly, correct way, and it was um, maybe it was really good to see that type of intervention in that type of scale of the political assassination event. But in the same situation, they are showing that there are big gap in the system. And when we turn to the Adamovich case, even if Adamovich was local leader, we can find some topics that are presented the same way. So we got mass reaction to the attacks and societal polarization. We can find that the victim is also portrayed as oppositionist Democrats, so to use some stereotype as a good human, and at the same point he is present as a person, political leader with some legal issues. When we look on the dem side, we can see that once again, attacker is not most important part of the news narration. Most media concern more about security system and about reaction on the attack. Not the case. We don't have a case of clear case of finding guilty, to put guilty, put blame on someone. When I try to make some conclusion about that type of news, it was obvious for me that there will be some similarities, because both types of action were connected with politicians, with assassinations, are connected with a media system that are Democrat ones, and media outlets that are online, so they're waiting just to give as much information as quickly as possible. So regardless of the type of the media highlight existing political divisions, so we can find easily connection to left-right wings in the United States, and political friction in Poland, which is which I can describe also left-right, but is not the same in my country, because our left and our right is rather centric, the United States perspective. Media also seek to identify the guilty party, but the guilty party is not the attacker. It's not only the attacker. Probably the most guilty are parties or their leaders, and of course opposite parties. Media, in the same time, do not portray the attacker solely as a loner or mentally ill. They sometimes present them only as actor of the event, someone who is present in the moment of the attack, someone who have some history, some background, but media doesn't present these details about the background of the attacker in details. And media more often build public dialogue than apply the ideology effect. Public dialogue is one of the ways that media use in different type of attacks coverage, but in my cases, this type of discourse wasn't present. What was the dominant narrative? As you can hear before, I would say that there wasn't one way that media used to say that someone is good or bad, because in many news, in many comments that media present on their web pages, the same people, the same things were presented in the same in different ways. So Trump and Adamovich are in the same time victims and the active political actors that can be portrayed also in negative way. In Poland, Trump was presented only in electoral context, but in Adamowicz case, only historical context was exposed. So all this local context is important to present background of the victim and to choose what will be the way of further presenting details in more in different news that will be showed after assassination. Also, what is typical for the media is that media try and present positive and negative aspects of reaction of the society and security responses. So we can easily see in my sample that media express people's solidarity with the victim, and at the same time we are accused by media for being polarized, for using hate speech and other violence action. And the same we can say about security reactions. So security forces are said to be correct, that the police officers are react quickly and in right way, and at the same time the media are showing the gap and try to find the guilty person who will take the blame on his or her back. So why? What are the difference or limits? I was really thinking about it for a long time, because the only limitation of the time of news I found was the political recognition of the victim, because this is the most important and influencing factor. I would say that most media use political recognition as a context to present social issues like polarization and hate speech or electoral campaign. And the more well known the person, politician, victim is, the media provide more information, more details, use more neutral labels, but in the same time evaluate and try to sometimes even escalate emotional components of the news that are describing news that are describing the attack. At the same time, what is second limitation? I would say it is maybe cause of the difference, probably limitation too. I was thinking about vagueness of we them, because media don't exactly say who is we, who is them. So they can easily switch to mode that we are good and we are bad, them are good or bad. And nobody is, I think that nobody, just researchers are reading all that type of news. But um, typical user of the news web page, I think that is using only the few information that are presented there. So probably the problem and the limit of the type of coverage is that nobody know what is the content that the reader is get. And that type of situation, I think that we can, as a readers, we can, as an audience, we can make some assumption, make some conclusion from uh, not with not background, with no knowledge about the way that coverage is organized, and how this type of presentation of the victim and attackers are expressed by the editors. And probably it's not the best way to sum up this presentation, but um, this this is what I found sample, and this is what I want to share with you. Probably I was thinking about more concise and more precise way of presentation of that, but I hope that some points of my view and my research are a little bit clearer to you now. But if you have any questions about what I do, what I did in my research, I am open and I am waiting for them. So thank you for the opportunity to share this study, and thank you for the opportunity to use my English once again in the public.
No, thank to you. It was really clear and very, 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 very interesting. I have a few questions, if you let me. Uh,
I'm switching
uh,
only the video conference mode now.
okay, okay, it's okay. First one, in the context of the Congress, uh, why you speak in English and why we have this presentation here is because of your background and your methodological approach, which is different than we are using here in most of our
Yeah.
researchers, que lo digo en español, que el valor de tener a Carolina compartiendo esto con nosotros tiene que ver con que ella trabaja fenómenos de plataformización a partir de combinar dos enfoques que tienen que ver con la mediatización y con el análisis discursivo, y no con el análisis discursivo que utilizamos en América Latina, que es más de la tradición de Jesús Martín Barbero y de Eliseo Verón. I say that you don't use discourse analysis in the same way that we use. We use Eliseo Verón's work and Jesus Martín Barbero's work, which is different, but we know that Teombandij here, he is famous, so it's entonces, el uso de eso nos trae una perspectiva sobre un tema que para nosotros es muy cercano porque también tuvimos este tipo de fenómenos con los intentos de asesinato de Cristina Fernández de Kirchner y de Bolsonaro. We here had this type of issues with the former president of Argentina, Cristina Fernández. She suffered an attempt to kill. Even if I don't think wrong, Bolsonaro, former president of Brazil, have the same thing. So this is a well-known for us type of problem, type of object. So this is the justification that why you are here talking with us. So the second one is The first one. How did you capture the data? What's
Capture.
the approach? O sea, what's the why why do you choose? Why did you choose these news and not others? And how you did that?
Okay. Uh, I would say that the first reason is very simple. I only use Polish and English, so
Okay,
it was simply for me to check the differences between coverage in that type of media.
but you use
That
some type
outlets
of
of media.
software or is manually?
No, it's only manual.
Okay,
I didn't use any tool because I think that people that work better. I only go to
totally
the web.
agree.
I only log on the news web page. I use the tags only few. Um, names, surnames, and sometimes word attack. To be safe that I choose the correct sample, I also list all the news from these 2 days that I was analyzing. Only 2 days because former as different studies showing this is the most important content from the showing political assassination. Only 2 days is breaking news mode. Further, we are using investigative journalism, and investigative journalism is different generic mode for me. So only breaking news. So I list all the news. I check every news that is connected to Adamovich and to Trump and read it all once to find that many of the news are not connected to the topic of the assassination, mostly in the Trump case. In Adamovich, every news I found from these 2 days were connected political assassination. In Trump case, many of the news were connected to campaign. So I
Okay,
excluded political campaign news and leave only assassination ones. And I also deleted from the sample news that are double. Because in some outlets, in some web pages, some news were presented 4 times in different with different titles, and when you look on the archive page, they are presented as a new news, but they wasn't.
okay.
So it was typically manually, and I was reading all once, and then I was studying 3 times.
Okay, it wasn't a sample. It was everything
Yeah.
that you captured. Okay,
everything, everything that I found about these cases in this media, in these 2 days that I choose to analyze. I only, once again, I say I only use 2 days. Only breaking news was interesting for me because when we don't have many information about assassination, the polarization is news is probably higher than when we are using investigative journalism mode and have access to many details about the attack.
okay. I'm pretty sure that you answered me that in after that I wrote that. But in Poland, I assume that the historical context of Trump, I mean, it's taken into account, or you think it was a lack of interest,
Mm,
or but after you say that it was because he was famous, he is famous.
yeah,
This is
but
the reason,
yeah,
or is
I would say
oh,
that in Poland we have different point of view on Trump
mm,
uh, because of the political context, of course. We are switching ruling parties time of the attack, so it was also tough in the analyze. But what I can show in the material I gathered is that in many news, only few information about Trump as a leader was shown. Why? because many of this news was translated from the US pages.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
so similar that even the quotation was the same. The perspective was the same, and we have the one outlet only that present information about this attack in different way. And this was the, I would say that it was the way that I will judge as a neutral, journalistic one, informative one, probably,
Mm,
and not the way that we are used to present information in the United States. But many news is just copy paste mode. It is sad,
okay.
but I think that explanation first is that when the information about attack was published in the media, in Poland we have night. It was 1 o'clock a.m.
Okay. Yes.
So journalists have only one way to show the attack. Copy,
Okay.
translate,
Paste.
paste.
Paste. Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Um, the other thing is here in Argentina, this type of cases, the, uh, the Trump supporter that was murdered recently, Kirk something. What's the name of this guy?
I'm afraid
Uh,
that I won't know.
well, recently, a Trump supporter was killed in a
Ah,
public
yeah, yeah,
presentation.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, he was
Uh,
presented. I don't see the case in journalist websites. I read it only on social media. But on social media, the you say that the difference between we and them is a little vague. I
mhm.
I think that is a positive aspect because uh, it let you understand when it's not presented in explicit way, but it works when it's presented in explicit way. No, here in Argentina, this case of this guy Kirk something was shown that the evil people who don't understand the good values of the right ideology kills them because the bad people, the evil people, is against the traditional values. No, and when you use these a little vague categories, I think you can fit all the aspects of the style, maybe.
Yeah,
No?
probably. I think that it can also be the case of objectivity, because when you are
Yeah.
swifting good, bad, them, us, you probably don't fit to any political bias, typical political bias. And you are trying, as an author, to show both cases. But when we have the whole sample, it is clear that one side is better one. But for me, it was surprising to find out that better one is not the attacker. I would like to say that I was sure that I will find in the sample that attacker is bad person, because this is the only information that is objective, say, because someone like to attack someone, and he, she, for me as a human, uh, is not living in the right way. I would name it like that. So I was looking for that information news and I couldn't find it. I found many causes for attacks, but not the blaming of the attacker. It was really surprising for me to find out, because in literature, assassin is described as a mentally ill, bad person.
A monster.
Yeah, a monster, someone out of the society, but not in the political case. In political case, the monster is more often political opponent or society as a whole. It's quite strange for me to find out this from that type of news, because I have a really big problem in the methodological way to find out who is them. In one moment, I only want to I use the my noting pad and describe in every news who is them, because it
You say
wasn't clear.
you say that journalism trying to be uh, an equity journalism, a polite journalism, finally is a delusional journalism because to kill people is bad, and this isn't appear in the news. This is heavy. It's even worse that if you say, "Well, she deserved it" or "he deserved it." Oof.
I know that it is a big point. Probably we should take it and think about it deeper, because I was probably it is some stereotypization. When we look on the presentation of the victim, we are always want to have the portrait of the person who is feel harm, who is a symbol of some values that are close to us. And when we think about political leader, he expressed some point of view that is similar to us or not. So when I think about people who are reading that type of news, I see people who is voting for that politician or not. And when we have the same moment, so politically biased society, it is obvious that as a reader, in the group of readers, we can find audience that would like something bad happen to others. Maybe not in that type of way, not in attack way, but we want a change. And this perspective with us, but them, is switching very often in media and that type of relation. But it's only my opinion, not
No, but
the.
it's scary the idea of dehumanization of the victim,
Yeah.
no matter who was the victim. Dehumanization is scary. So
The concept of journalism, I only can say that they're presented in so correct way that it's look like something unreal, because whole formals, names, labels are so delicate, neutral, that I couldn't find any negative label material both
his,
ways.
historically, the Polish journalism has this style, or it's
Objectivity.
now, yes, this type of objectivity.
Oh, it's hard to say because there are journals. We have journals that are mostly objective and not politically oriented. But when we look on the style of the different authors, we can easily say that he's voting for that side or other side. I don't know how to answer even this question. I would say that it is complicated in like in every market, but we are rather reading objective one news. But on online version, we can easily see that the tabloidization is higher than in print.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. That the presentation was awesome. I really enjoyed that. So I have not questions from YouTube. Not until now. No. So, well, we keep in touch for the other project. So, despido a la gente de YouTube. Les agradezco que nos hayan visto. Los invito para la sesión de las 5 de la tarde, que es sobre moda, y la de las 6:30 de la tarde, que es sobre proyectos transmedia. Y la despido a Carolina. If you wait me a minute, I shut down the YouTube presentation and come with you. Ok, terminamos acá. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. See you soon.